Hi guys, and good morning. It is the 2nd of April 2024, 12:18 a.m. or p.m. Asia time and 6:18 a.m. London time. So let me just check my microphone is on properly. Yes, it's on. So today we are coming live for a quarterly market review. Okay, so it's going to be a quick one to look over the market as it begins to consolidate after a very strong close. That's on the monthly and the 3-monthly chart. So let's begin. The points to make about BTC are fairly simple, right? No bearish signs emerging right now at all. You have a potential swing failure kicking in here, which, you know, granted, could be the start of a bear market, as the irrational brain, or maybe in a bear's case, rational brain will like to suggest. But we're in a fundamentally strong climate, and this market, whilst it has been up only for a long time, it has barely performed, right? So it's up 3x. Perhaps it ends here, but my suppositions are there is nothing on the fundamental landscape to suggest that, apart from the fact that crypto feels somewhat PvP, but that is deadening because the presence from retail is increasing. I have seen anecdotally an increase in retail within this candle, right? I'm looking at Twitter and I'm looking at the typical bozos that are nowhere to be seen down here. They're re-emerging here, yeah, and often re-emerging based on the back of meme coins. I've also had a few in real life friends tell me that they're ready finally up here to commit to crypto, but when I was telling them down here, they said, oh well, you know, we're looking into it, but you know, we'll do it at a later stage when we've completed what we're doing. So I suspect, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but on the next leg up here, I will be banking significant profits, right? Just based on that piece of information. And due to the fact that if we were to take another leg up here, that is the Achilles heel of the majority of traders. So what do I mean by that? This is the area, okay, surrounding the post-halving, where everyone expects a parabola to kick in, and they expect it to kick in 2 ways. Instant move to 150, so that's way number 1, or way number 2 is that they feel they will be specifically in the clear. So if, for example, we don't get a 30 to 40% retrace here, but instead we just start moving up, the part or place in the market that will particularly catch everyone offside, whether that's a cycle top or whether it's an actual retrace, is actually post-halving. It's not pre-halving. And we often talk about the pre-halving dip, so of course this may emerge here. But for certain, you know, if you just move up straight from here, there's going to be mass amounts of caution from me, just looking at how and why and where people are playing on the table. Can I be specific about what's going to happen now? No, unfortunately, I cannot, right? As I said in the previous video, this cycle is acting far differently from all the other cycles. And where I begin and where I end is that I still believe we're inside a bullish trend. So, me and Falcon have discussed this a lot, and any lack of clarity can be supplemented by 2 things, right? Number 1 is playing from strength. So we always conclude on this at the moment, right? When unsure but sure of general upwards context, just play from strength, right? So we're in from lower down on a lot of coins, and playing from strength basically means taking medium to small amounts of cash when it presents itself, taking off initials, making sure you generally are able to sleep at night, continuing the research, and being prepared to bid on dips, right? That inspire panic or are slightly black swan-ish, right? Black swan-ish does not mean black swan. It means that most people are not looking at higher time frame charts. So when they, for example, so I can get rid of all this shit, when they start to long Doge, you know, for financial freedom on the daily or 3-day chart or 4-hour chart, okay, they don't have their key levels marked out, so they end up making massive mistakes. Yeah, massive mistakes. And if you look at, for example, how I played Doge recently, I told you that I was loading here and you saw my buys and then I sold in this general region, yeah? And that is an example of playing things simply. So the two things that I'm looking for right now, I'm just looking for key level retests as stated in the previous video. So you have, let me just switch this over so it's more clear. Here is the chart that I made previously and everything here applies, okay? So dollar panic averaging according to the interactions around support levels, edging into half before the event confirms a low, and then if I'm able to, you know, receive confirmation that a low is in a particular area, I will add. This is the idea of playing from strength, okay? Playing from strength. This is that idea. So I don't need to know what happens in the market. Again, I'm saying the same thing too because BTC is doing this, right? Previous all-time high is here. BTC is right here. It's chopping around. Halving event is right here. Right? Retail are re-entering into the game and fundamental climate is good, okay? Simple. Be smart enough to be simple. Now, if we see something in the fundamental landscape that gives us a reason to start doubting this thesis, then it has to be considered. And just to repeat, like in the last video, we always have to keep track of our own biases and, of course, problematic risk profiles, right? So are we risking too much? Are we risking out of profit? Are we using leverage? Are we liable to get washed out or what? Okay, and that comes back to the reason we play from strength. And so playing from strength might not give you the most gains in the short term, but certainly it will help you keep it in the long term. And again, that's what matters. So I didn't even plan to say the same things I did in my last video, but there we go. And the reason being is because, of course, you know, there is only one truth to my execution right now. It is kept simple. So let's remove this now and let's look at BTC on a lower time frame. So if we are to bounce, again, the things can be kept simple. I think the bounce will come in at around 64,000. Now, if we start to put in a bounce here, or if we start to enter this phase, this may be a good area to start edging into altcoins, right? Because that will be the last higher low before the resolution, right? I think this is something that may occur. And so I'm looking for confluence as we dip into this place on altcoins with the playing from strength idea edging into the market. If this zone fails, right, then the key area that we're looking at to buy the dip at is here, right? So I'm blue. Many of you want a, well, sir, what do I do? I'm sorry, this is not a what do I do video. This is how to think about the market and using principles in order to make your own decisions. And so we have two potential places of broad adding and execution, right? We have the post-month initial dip here. And then we have a failure of this here, okay? If this area fails and we get to here, this is one of the biggest opportunities in the market. So risk profile will be less here for me and it will be more here. Okay, and if we enter this area and we do not end up bouncing or it takes too long, well, I'll cut my orders and wait, yeah? I already got positions from far down. I've got spot positions. That's fine. You have to think about the game in terms of, you know, what are you happy to execute on versus what's not worth it based on what you already have. So always ask yourself those questions. Don't feel like you always need to buy into certain dips. Sometimes it can be advantageous just to know and just to feel that you are strong, right? That you have cash. You don't always need to execute. The only time you should execute is if you're your plans are strong, right? Clear. If you do not have that clarity, then it really doesn't matter, because you're acting on a lack of clarity. You act on a lack of clarity, what happens? You get into the habit of acting on a lack of clarity. You get into that habit, and then, eventually you just start executing within the mist, yeah? Execute within the mist long enough, you'll make a mistake and you'll get shat on. So, brief stop there to say to you guys, yeah, these are my 2 ideas, but if they're not ideas that corroborate with you and that you can understand and coordinate contextually with your own positions, then do not execute on them. Just because I say these are my plans, right? Things have to be well understood or not understood at all. So, again, brief pit stop. So, with that being the case, if we now scroll to the 3 monthly chart, yeah, that's also a key level, right? So that's a key quarterly level right here. And so the idea being that it doesn't matter how much we retrace, as long as we're kind of within this general area. And as we creep down within this general area, the risk profile or tolerance, in my opinion, should increase. Yeah, that is how I am trading and investing. Risk tolerance increases the further we get closer and get in this gray box. If we front run this quarterly level, so again, if we consolidate here and then we pump off of this quite aggressively, and I see euphoria in the market, I'm taking money off. Even if there is no euphoria, I think this is going to be the good place to bank in some pre-cycle gains, so that sleeping, which is often, a cornerstone to happiness and health, which is why I keep mentioning it, is far easier than before, because a lot of you can't sleep. You think I'm going off on a tangent? I'm not. A lot of you cannot sleep. A lot of you have money in the bank, but how is your sleep? You compound that shit enough, there is a what's it called? There's a massive celebration of no sleep season, right? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough if you're a scammer or you can move the markets. But no sleep season will come for you in the worst way possible, at the worst time possible. So please be careful and please rest. Again, this happened last video too. This seems to have cut out my internet. Let's see if we can get that launch back here. Great. So from there, let me just nuke this. We're going to go and now talk about some altcoin charts. And before so, we're going to look at dominance. So dominance is fucked, right? It's fucked. This is horrible. Horrible chart. Look at that. It looks as if it's going to break to the upside right now. But certainly volatility is crunching. So we're just on the end of the compressive phase, and the BTC volatility, I think, is about to increase, and money is going to flow in or out of it. Looks to me like in, because we've had the most bullish close basically in history. Ethereum is by this monthly level, so get rid of all this shit again. All right. Monthly level for Ethereum. If it takes out that previous monthly low, well then again, same ideas. Yeah, risk is scaled up. Risk is fairly decent here to buy into Ethereum if you're not in, but the highest level of risk will come on a swipe of this monthly low. Yeah, so if you're lucky enough to get that, which would be conditional on BTC going likely to 58, if you get that, great. And that leaves us with a good segue to move into Doge. So people's favorite right now, and I told them, yeah, I said to them on Twitter, look, this is getting cringe. Yeah, no one was talking about Doge here, no one was talking about Doge in the intra-week retest, but all of a sudden everyone is now a Doge fan. Financial freedom, $4. So we've got a swipe right now, and for Doge, feelings are the same, right? We have two key levels. Key level number one is this weekly cluster, right? And this weekly cluster will be run and bounced off if BTC fulfills its contraction. Number two, yeah, key monthly zone. Okay, risk should be oversized in my thesis and my strategy. In this gray area, the risk should be kept to normal sizes within this gray area. Does that make sense? That is the theme of everything and all altcoins in this video, with knowledge that I have positions and holds from lower down. Okay, this whole thesis is supported by the fact that we're in early. You can still use the idea, but it's easier if you have positions, hold positions from very low down, because you're in unrealized profit or realized profit. Next is alluvium. So we go into alluvium now, and I'm just going to invert this for you again to remove your beer goggles. Yeah, your celebratory adrenal glands that tend to fire as a result of just being drunk on gains. So we have, okay, I need to get rid of this shit. Okay, lots of French this morning. If you are insulted by French, nothing I can do. Key level, right? Key level. This monthly block here, right? So already added to alluvium at 111 on the previous dip, but again, that's now a previous weekly high. So the idea is the same. This is the simplistic version of it all. I'm going to go on the 2-week chart and you'll see that here. So we have a uptrend. Right, uptrend. Series of what? Ascending lows. Remember, this is the inverted. We have what? A liquidity area here. So an area where I'm looking to add more to alluvium is in general the 111 to 106 area. Those who leveraged the previous dip retest on the weekly candle, that's where their stops will be. So if you imagine people like myself who bought that previous weekly test thinking they had a clear entry into Valhalla, their stops are going to be where they feel safety, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we go and take that out. And if we do, the risk to reward is massive there, massive. So again, an example of scaling up risk. Another example for you is Phantom. So great chart. I did previously mention to you that I would be buying up more if we can get a significant retrace. So I'm going to readjust all these levels now. The key level contextually for Phantom has now become this area for me personally, right? You can look at the weekly and you can say, well, you know, maybe it's higher up. For me, I'm looking at key monthly levels. So I want to see Phantom move into here to interact in order to be able to add, you know, to hold positions and leverage the back end should we get expansion from there. Otherwise, I would just hold on to my Phantom positions. The reason why this is one of the favorable charts is because, of course, it has expanded with strength. Okay, there are some that have not expanded from strength, such as GMX, right? So DeFi shitcoins, I'm still within this in spot within this. It's acting and performing horribly, so I'm down on my spot bags, but it is what it is. You do take losses sometimes. Still holding this, and I will do until this range resolves now. So the question here is, what monthly charts are good and what monthly charts are not? If you look at this is not a good monthly chart. If you look at Phantom and Doge, these are great monthly charts. So we're looking for things within strong climates, yeah? And other alts, we can't go through them all, of course, but another alt that's in a strong climate is Aerobase, which a lot of you have taken profit on, but I'm still holding. There's no reason for me to get rid of that. And I have other charts for you, such as IXS. So that's a bit more. But yeah, IXS, again, strong monthly candle. People might be afraid of this wick, but they forget that that entire monthly ran from 0.47 to 1.2. So that's a 3x monthly candle. Things do need to cool down. This is consolidating at a previous high area. You know, you're generally looking for fresh narratives or charts that people are voting on with their money. So alluvium was covered within the gaming. You know, people's favorite, which is Katana Inu. So if I look at Kata on crypto charts, right? You can just see it's very similar to how I highlighted Illuvium. Great place to buy the dip. You basically have a key repeating structure for Katana, right? And people can't see it because they're not looking, but you have these massive moves, downtrend, massive moves, downtrend, massive moves. And I'm going to post this chart shortly. This is just the classic behavior from Katana because of how I think the liquidity is fragmented. They need to add more liquidity on the buy side. I think they have too much on the sell side, but it is what it is right now. So haven't touched that. Another one, which is Ghost, that I mentioned quite frequently to you in various market videos and on my Twitter, that has run target. No interest in Ghost anymore. RWAs, Hi-Fi. Okay, it's getting that retest key level. Again, if you're going to add or if you're inside, this is a place to do so. And what else do we have? Yeah, we've got Mubi. Mentioned that many times. Still consolidating around this trend line break. Maybe it runs this. Beauty of playing on spot is we don't have to worry. Yeah, it's like an option for me. If it goes to zero, fine. If it goes to target, fine. This is where I'm looking at. The criteria for an addition is really displayed in this moved trend line. So if we break this secondary trend line, so in whatever fashion possible, then I will add to my movie positions, right? So let's say we run these lows, I'll add a little bit, and then we break out there. That is when I go OP on risk, overpower. A theme of this video isn't necessarily understanding what's going to happen to the market. A theme of this video is understanding how to go overpowered on your risk, because that is what helps you double up, triple up in a safer way, yeah, in a safer way. And so the risk is kept normalized within this area, but it goes OP here. And for Mubi and these on-chain coins, I have about 100 grand to add to any pre-existing positions. OP risk is probably going to look like $250,000 to me, but with myself and my strategy, the conditions must be completely right. Otherwise, I don't expand that risk. And a lot of you cannot wait to expand risk. So when it actually comes, you do not have the money there. And something else that I'm looking at is Agorist. Yeah, Agorist is at a key level. Engulfing bearish on the monthly, but that is, I think, simply because of the FUD around the project and the delayed testnet. We have other strong coins, but this is going to come later. Rose is struggling. Horrific monthly there. We have Balance AI, we have X Alpha. So X Alpha is one of the gems that I'm in, and I haven't sold anything. Yeah, been patient with this, and I think it's going to consolidate and move on another leg up. They just integrated Dex Screener into their project. Zero reason to sell out of that, and we can keep on going, right? We can keep on going with the market leaders. One more chart to mention is Pepe. So Pepe is within a big consolidation right now. This could be, again, doing one of two things. Same thing as BTC, right? So this is following BTC right now. If Pepe gets to here, this is the next best place to start loading for a potential flip above this high. But ideally, we favor liquidity runs of key lows, which for me on Pepe would be this. So OP risk here, generalized risk again here. Yeah, lending to the theme of the video. And so there's nothing really else to mention here, apart from the fact that we're laying in wait. I will mention that often within these climates, the direction that BTC swings at the monthly open is often not the direction it's going to continue in for the rest of the month. So if we're swinging here right now, you will put in a monthly low, in my opinion, and then move up for the rest of the month. So I tweeted recently, you should be happy to be receiving this. Yeah, if you look at my profile and you go down, 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 down. Lucky as fuck to get such a big dump after the monthly close. Yeah, it might inspire fear, but the point is the uptrend is strong. And then the other tweet I put out is first monthly close above all-time high about to print. The signal is clear. Prevent mid-curving for the next few months. This video is the art of not mid-curving. Yeah, which is why I'm not being overcomplicated with you. Okay, so I'm going to conclude the video there. Hope that was helpful on a Tuesday morning. Let's see if the market continues to dip here or if it puts in a low sometime today, as it categorically loves to during the late Monday session, early Tuesday session. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. Have a lovely day. Peace.